Let's talk about the numbers first of all. You've beaten expectations. As Anna says, you're going to be reinstating the dividend. You're hiring aggressively. Guillaume, is the pandemic now behind Airbus?
No, the pandemic is not behind us, but we are on the recovery. We delivered last year 611 aircraft, slightly higher than our guidance, but there's still a long way to go to recover the 863 we delivered in 2019. So moving forward, but still with the effects of the pandemic.
You bring up the issue of guidance. I've read a number of analyst notes this morning. They think, once again, Guillaume, that you are being cautious with your guidance. Guillaume, are you just managing expectations here? As you say, you've beaten again this year. Or is there something going on, particularly with free cash flow? Deliveries look good. Free cash flow looks a little bit shy of expectations.
Well, we've explained to the analyst the bridge to 2021. We had a very strong 2021 indeed that has beaten expectations. Moving forward, we have given a guidance of 720 planes to be delivered in 2022. The guidance for 2021 was 600, so we have done slightly better. But when you compare 600 to 720, that's plus 20%. And I mean, it's not going to be easy, but we are on the trajectory and we're committed to those numbers.
Okay, let's talk about what is happening in terms of the business right now. What are you seeing on input inflation? How is the supply chain holding up? How easy is it to hire people right now? How much pricing power do you have? What is happening right now? Clearly, inflation is a really big narrative. How is it affecting Airbus?
So thank you, Guy. A lot of questions. In the last 18 months to 2 years, we've focused a lot on the demand side, on supporting our customers, reorganizing the production to adapt to the pandemic situation. Moving forward, we're ramping up again, and we're doing this in a very complex environment, in particular for our supply chain and our suppliers. So I guess the next 18 months will be very much about managing that situation with suppliers. They are in a ramp-up situation with a very complex situation to manage at their end, with access to raw material being difficult and the prices being very high. The price of energy is very high. Logistics around the world is a challenge and the prices are very high. And last but not least, and you said it, finding the right people, the right employees, the skills, the human resources is becoming increasingly difficult. So we have a lot of things to manage. We have organized ourselves to manage the situation with the supply chain in COVID-19 to gain anticipation and visibility of what's happening with our suppliers, and we will use those tools, those ways of working to continue to anticipate and resolve problems before they hit the production. But I guess the most difficult part of 2022 and maybe 23 moving forward, again, will be supply chain.
OK, so supply chain remains front and centre. Guillaume, good morning. Let me ask you about what is now a very public standoff with Qatar Airways. They've been big buyers over the years of Airbus aircraft. This is over the A350, of course. They've been loyal buyers in some people's view. Are you ready to lose Qatar Airways as a customer of Airbus if that's where this ends up?
Well, we are in a unfortunate situation with Qatar Airways, who is indeed a very important customer of Airbus. We disagree on an important aspect of the dispute, and therefore we want to defend ourselves. You know that Qatar has put a claim against Airbus, so we have to defend ourselves. But obviously we will work hard to find at a point in time an amicable resolution, because we want to stay with Qatar Airways. And generally speaking, we're working very hard to serve customers. That's what we have done in the last 2 years in a very complex environment, and we want to keep doing this moving forward. So I hope we're going to find a way forward with Qatar Airways.
I wonder about the supply chain, Guillaume. What's it look like to you right now, and how is chip availability panning out? I mean, is this going to be an issue that we can put behind us after the first half?
Yes, thank you, Matt, for that question. Actually, the supply chain issues on the chip and the microconductors has been impacting a lot other industries, and in particular the car industry. We've not been in that situation so far. Of course, we've had some warnings here and there to look at and to anticipate and to resolve, but we are not in the same situation. Now, moving forward, we have to remain very prudent, and we continue to monitor the situation on that hand. And I can't say we will resolve it, because we are not in that very critical place that other industries find themselves.
Guillaume, can I just return to the issue of the 350 and the issues surrounding the paint and the flaking that is happening on that aircraft? How close to a fix are you with the Qatar aircraft? How close to a fix are you broadly with the fleet? And how many other customers are being affected by this problem? And do you see issues with those customers potentially as well?
We have a specific situation to manage with Qatar Airways that is linked to the fact that they have taken the decision with their authorities to ground a number of airplanes because of the paint situation, and we consider there's no reason to ground airplanes. That's why we have a very different situation with other airlines, and we are managing the issue, and it's not a big issue, in the way we are managing other ones with the airlines in a professional way. So again, we have really a very specific situation with Qatar Airways that we need to manage as such.
These guys are really into Qatar. I'm more interested in the planes, Guillaume, and the helicopters. You got a chopper over your left shoulder there. You're a test pilot in those to kick off your career. Are high net worth individuals buying a lot more private planes? Is corporate travel picking back up after the pandemic? Are you selling more helicopters?
The recovery in the helicopter market has been mainly driven by military orders and more recently by the light single-engine civil business. And that's a positive development because, generally speaking, when we see the low end of the market, the civil market picking up, then it's a positive development moving forward for all the segments. We are not particularly strong or focused on corporate helicopters and flights. We have a business on that side. It's developing positively like others, and as you know, we are not in business jets. So that's something that is a bit far from the core of our business. The core of the business is the traditional segments of helicopters, and when we look at commercial aviation, that's really the commercial airplanes themselves.